Hi guys, and welcome back to 5-Minute Facts with Caroline. Today we're going to talk about road rules, about the right-of-way, emergency vehicles, and law enforcement vehicles, and school buses, and what you're supposed to do in situation when you encounter that. Let's start with the right-of-way. So the law does not give the right-of-way, but it states who must yield, therefore give up the right-of-way. If you have to yield, you let the other person go before you in a certain traffic situation. So who to yield to? Like, what would the situation be? You must yield at a yield sign, to pedestrians at intersections and crosswalks, to pedestrians using a seeing eye guide dog or a white cane, which indicates that they are visually impaired, to vehicles on the through road at a T intersection. There will be another video about intersections and what a T intersection looks like, but that's another video. To vehicles that are already in the intersection. When turning left, to oncoming pedestrians and other drivers, like bicycles as well, of course, if it is not a protected turn. There will also be a video that mentions what a protected turn is. When joining a paved road from an unpaved side road, and when rejoining the road after stopping. To emergency, law enforcement, and construction vehicles. Do's and don'ts with the right-of-way. Do yield according to the law and in order to prevent an accident. Do try to gain eye contact with other drivers or pedestrians to prevent misunderstanding. Like this shows down here, if you want to cross over, you might just want to look at the driver so you actually know that he saw you. Don't assume that other drivers know or obey all the laws, therefore don't insist on the right-of-way. Don't force your way into traffic just because you have the right-of-way. Let's talk about emergency and law enforcement vehicles now. So there is a difference between if they are parked or if they are in motion. First, we're going to talk about if they are in motion. If so, you have to pull over. First, stay calm. They might be loud, they might be flashing, they might be right behind you, but stay calm. But then you must pull over or stop at an intersection if an emergency or law enforcement vehicle approaches, again moving, with their lights flashing and or a siren running. Pull out of the way as far as safely possible. You might not have room to move when in a heavy traffic situation or stuck behind a red light. So if they are right behind you and you're not in heavy traffic and you have the option to pull to the side, then do that, okay? Just get out of the way, give them space. Same thing here. You could try to pull a little bit to the side, but you might not be able to. You just stop and let them go first, okay? Depending on which side they're coming from. If you have green light, you still don't go. You let the emergency vehicle go first. If they are parked, move over. So move over one lane if you can safely do so when you see an emergency vehicle, law enforcement, other vehicles on the side of the road. Give the vehicle and first responders space to do their job safely. So you can see this here. There's different scenarios. There could be a police, a semi-truck, a family, or just somebody who broke down. So just if this is you, just move over one lane and give them space. If you can't move over safely, you must slow down to a reasonable speed. Take other traffic and the safety of the people into account. If you can't move over to the second lane, you have to stay in this lane. So you just slow down and be as thoughtful as possible to these two cars. Do's and don'ts with emergency and law enforcement vehicles. Do pull over or move over if you can do so safely. Do stop on an intersection or on the opposite side of the road. Do slow down if you can't move over. Do use your mirrors and turn signals, as well as when you go off the road, like to pull aside, but also when you come back on the road. Don't break any laws to pull out of the way. Don't put yourself or other vehicles in danger to pull over. Don't stop or slow down if you're on the opposite side on a divided highway. So if there's a green belt or just a barrier in between, you don't have to stop or slow down on the other side of the highway, okay? Don't try to outrun an emergency vehicle, and don't slam on your brakes. Let's talk about school buses. Stop for flashing lights, keep our kids safe. You should slow down and prepare to stop when you see a school bus with yellow flashing lights. School bus is getting ready to stop to load or unload passengers. You must stop when a school bus extends its stop sign, this here, it's on the side of the school bus, or turns on its red flashing lights. School bus is most likely loading or unloading passengers at that point. You must stop on either side of the road. If the roadway is separated by a physical barrier or a green belt, you do not have to stop. You can only pass the school bus if the flashing lights are no longer active or activated, or the bus has resumed driving. Let's talk about different scenarios. So you can be on a 2-lane, on a multi-lane, or on a divided highway. So if it's a 2-lane, you have to stop on both sides. So right behind the school bus, but also on the other side. Multi-lane, but paved in the middle, you still have to stop on both sides of the road. And then this is this divided highway that also came up with the emergency vehicles. You only have to stop behind the school bus on this side. You don't have to stop here, but proceed with caution on this side as well. That was it from me today. Thank you for watching, and see you guys soon.